like, all right, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
Or man or woman.
Well, and it's like Undertaker responded with like too little, too late. Absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
And they put her at like number 5. It's like going, if she was that big of a deal, like top 5, you would immediately think of her.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Michelle McCool sucked. So like, I mean, of course, the Undertaker's wife, obviously. So you can't really forget about her. But listen, the only thing I remember about Michelle McCool being women's champion is that she split it with Layla.
Yeah.
So, and they had the half belts.
And that was a fun little thing for a while. And, you know, so Lay Cool was kind of a knockoff of the Beautiful People, and the Iconics became kind of a knockoff of Lay Cool. Like, when Iconics were in NXT, they were a bit different, but then once they got to the main roster, they more or less became Lay Cool knockoffs, but they were...
But they're still themselves.
Yes.
They're Australian, so it's, I guess it's different.
So, but, you know, that was definitely an interesting Twitter exchange.
I fucking laughed so hard. The Undertaker, who's never on social media.
From the dead.
He fucking rose up from the fucking dead to tweet that. I didn't know dead people could tweet, but everyone's like, oh, it ruins the mystique of the Undertaker. Shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't. He rode a fucking motorcycle in the ring for 3 years, which I loved, but...
Yeah.
He needs to do that again. I like that Undertaker better. He cut better promos, in my opinion.
Well, you know who doesn't like him? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I know Undertaker loves...
No, because he's himself. That's him being himself, and the best character is extensions of yourself.
Yeah.
He's like, no one believes I'm a fucking Undertaker. Well, yeah, but your name is The Undertaker.
So
player. One-on-one with The Undertaker, player.
Yeah. All right, so we had that, but back to AEW here for a bit. You know, we had MJF going over on Cody, and I kind of figured that was the way they were going to go with that, because...
you got to build your new stars. You know, Cody's never... You know, Cody intentionally took himself out of the title picture, because, you know, they didn't want to, like, shove a rocket up his ass, and plus, it was just better that way anyway.
Well, and the cool thing with this, though, like, you know, the audience completely knows that Cody is the guy who started it. The Young Bucks are the guys who started this with him. Mm-hmm. And like, they get the loudest reaction. Like, Moxley gets a loud reaction, but Cody and the Bucks...
Well, Cody has the fucking coolest entrance of anyone, so...
So, like, the reactions are tremendous. To me, he is the top babyface, even though Moxley's the champion. So you have what I consider your up-and-coming heel beating your top babyface. That's good for business.
No, that is good for business. MJF building up the young stars is what they're trying to do, because everyone's like, oh, why is Jericho champion? He's so fucking old. What WWE does the same thing. It's actually not the same thing. But
they're trying to establish their brand.
Yeah, so you gotta have
an established person be your champion that you know is a star, and like anybody who knows wrestling knows Chris Jericho.
He's better than ever.
Yeah,
he's better than ever right now.
And the only thing I would say with Jericho, like, and he said he's gained the weight for like his heel persona, but
he's old.
There's that too, but if you see him from like 3.5 years ago in WWE, he's ripped up.
He's all ripped up.
He was doing his DDP yoga. I think right now, you know, the Cruise of Jericho, he
probably had a little too much of the bubbly. Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah. So AEW, we had a great tag match with Hangman and Omega.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, I mean, you get those four guys in the ring, it's going to be...
Well, the Brandless one probably thought it was the worst match ever, because it was his least favorite wrestler ever. Kenny Omega's so overrated, fuck you.
Yeah.
He's probably listening too.
You know what? For me with Omega, I come down to, like, there are a couple of things he does in matches that take me out of matches.
Sure.
And Aleister Black does a couple of those things, and I'm like, really, dude?
Mm.
But outside of that, like, I'm fine with Omega. All right, so Monsef... he thinks the women's division in ROH is good. What do we think about it? I have not been following ROH very much lately, and that I guess that's on me. But you know, I've been trying to concentrate more on NXT and Dynamite than anything else in pay-per-views.
Yeah, well, the thing with
even NWA Power.
Yeah, that too. I haven't really watched much of NWA yet. Ring of Honor, like AEW, kind of like poured some water on that fire, man. I mean, like with AEW coming around, they probably offer better contracts. Yeah. I mean, Ring of Honor is owned by Sinclair, who are notoriously cheap. So,
I mean, they still have Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll, they gave Marty Scurll like complete creative control because they were going to lose him, and they knew they were going to lose him.
Yeah.
So they needed, and he's allowed to go other places too,
right? Like, New Japan and
and you know, Ring of Honor.
NWA.
You know, they still stick to that same business model they've always done, and it still works. But now it's kind of like
you're not gonna grow that way.
It's kind of like become AA baseball in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like people go to Ring of Honor, and then maybe they can jump up to AEW or WWE after their time there, which is what it always kind of has been. But now it's kind of like another tier level. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. You know, it was like for years, the thought was like TNA was number 2.
Right.
And then after that, it was Ring of Honor. Well, AEW comes along.
And Ring of Honor becomes number 3, and NWA comes along. So Ring of Honor is like 3 or 4. Impact's like not even like on anyone's radar anymore. I mean, having Tessa Blanchard be the heavyweight champion was the only thing that they really could do to get them some attention lately. But like, like who's left in Impact now? Like, RVD's there, right?
They've got RVD right now. I think Tommy Dreamer's wrestling there, although I think he's mostly a producer right now. But there are a couple other names there, and completely escaping me right now. But you know, most of the names went to AEW. It's like, hey, let's get this new thing off the ground. Let's get more wrestlers a chance to earn a living. I mean. And you know, not to me that this is a huge shining, but it's cool to see Colt Cabana on TV.
Oh, that was really cool. Yeah, he comes out on Wednesday night Dynamite with SCU. They wrestle again.
They ended up going against what the heck was it? Was it the Inner Circle? Or Dark Order? Might have been Dark Order. I'm sorry. Like there's so much wrestling, it's hard to keep this.
I know it's hard to keep everything straight.
Yeah, they beat the Dark Order.
It was Dark Order, yeah.
And Dark Order after that laid them out. And like the weird thing is like with all the missteps that they had with the Dark Order early on, you know, like they were finally ready to ship, and it's like I know you have like a new guy in Colt Cabana, and you want to have a good impression for the audience for him, and it's like. But the Dark Order, who you seem like you have a thing for, you have them lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they laid out SCU and Cabana after, but
they still lost.
They still
and
lost.
Records matter in AEW anyway. So like, they but here's the thing. I think the idea behind it is that if you're an AEW fan, you probably already know who Colt Cabana is because you watched wrestling other than WWE before. So that's probably one way they were looking at it. But at the same time, you got to build up your stars. So they have like, because being a new promotion, and they're still new in my opinion. You know, it's only been 6 months they've been on TV, right?
So, yeah, they've been on TV since what was it, October 4th?
Yeah, so 5 or 6 months now that they've been on TV, and they're still growing and still trying to figure out certain things. Like everyone's like, "Oh man, they're doing all this shit wrong." You know, how can anyone say it's better than WWE? I'm like, you gotta fucking calm down. Like they
give them a minute.
WWE does things right sometimes, but they do a lot of things wrong. And AEW does a lot of right, and they're still growing, and they still need to figure out, you know, a certain direction. I think they got it right with the way they booked the title so far, their heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
The tag team division's very strong.
Yeah.
But they don't really enforce the rules, so that's kind of stupid.
There are a couple of... So, talking about enforcing the rules, sometimes the referees are sitting there extremely lenient with the 10 count.
Oh.
And, I mean, that's with every organization.
But it's, like, pretty obvious in AEW. Like, in tag matches, I'm pretty sure the rest is, like... There were times they were like using chairs and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is it? They're not calling for a DQ.
Or like somebody from the outside would come and interfere, and like the ref would see it and not say or do a damn thing.
It's TNA level shit with that kind of stuff. I mean, like, you can't do that.
But what the heck did they? there was something specific they did. I wrote it down somewhere. Damn it.
You actually have nice handwriting, too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So one question I have. A chokehold is illegal in professional wrestling, correct?
Technically.
Jake Hager's move
is a chokehold.
Is a standing chokehold and is legal. I don't know if they're part of their thing is like going, all right, the MMA moves are legal.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like his thing.
Yeah. So, but just something I was thinking of, just like, back in the day with Big Show with the knockout punch.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, a punch is an illegal move in professional wrestling. The ref admonishes.
I remember, like, I think it was years ago, I think it was with Mr. McMahon and Ric Flair, that, like, Ric Flair got disqualified for using a closed fist. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
right.
And I guess, like, punches are technically illegal in professional wrestling, but, who fucking forces that shit? Like, it's professional wrestling. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make up your own rules. WWE does it on a fucking weekly basis.
So, yeah. But, all in all for me, like, I've really enjoyed AEW. Yes, like, sometimes it's like, what are they doing? Like, Big Swole, I love the name, but there has been literally no, like, real character development with her.
Or really any of the women, honestly.
I mean, you know about Nyla Rose. And you know about Brandy.
Yeah, and Brandy, because, like, she's Brandy and, she has to be front and center.
And what, actually, just a question I want to ask. Does AEW have too many factions?
I mean, it's kind of reminds me of the late 90s when everyone was in a faction, right?
So I tried to list them all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I got them all.
Do it.
Inner Circle.
Yep.
We got the new one on Wednesday, the Death Triangle, which is Pac and the Lucha Brothers.
That's such a fucking sick name, though.
It is.
Yeah.
The Elite, to me, is a loosely connected faction.
And they are a faction.
SCU.
SCU.
Dark Order.
Yep.
And the Nightmare Family, which is Cody, Dustin, and QT Marshall, and Cody.
You're missing one.
Randy.
You're missing one.
Brandy.
No. Factions.
Now,
best friends.
Best friends with Orange Cassidy. And I know people, like, some people do not enjoy the Orange Cassidy shtick, but him against Pac was.
You saw about the pay-per-view, it's like, he's like, oh shit, I have to try now, and then he fucking has a great match.
Yeah.
Pac's awesome.
Right.
Fuck you, WWE.
Yeah.
With Adrian, then not Adrian Neville.
Right.
Neville.
The king.
The king of the cruiserweights.
Yeah. All right. So Monsef also asked, like, do we think AEW is like the new WCW?
In a way, yeah. I mean, you can see a lot. They're influenced pretty heavily by it.
Well, obviously, they bring back the older guys from the NWA days. You got an Arn Anderson, you got a Tully Blanchard, now you got a Jake Roberts, and they're using them as managers. I love that they're using them as managers.
3 of the 4 horsemen are in AEW now.
Yeah. I think we'll probably see the 4th one there too, with the little spat about the man gimmick thing. I mean, Ric Flair has showed up at more WWE stuff, but I have a feeling that we will see the Nature Boy at some point.
I don't think Ric Flair's under any type of. He's probably under a Legends deal, right?
He might be under that, but he might be staying with WWE so they don't do anything to Charlotte.
They're not,
because you know how they.
Yeah, but
it could be petty.
She is such a big star on her own now.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do anything to her at this point. I mean, she is.
You may be right. She is the woman.
She is WWE's women's division. Not Becky Lynch as much as I love her, but it's Charlotte.
Right.
She was built up to be that way, and she's like a 12,000-time champion already. So
yeah, she's gonna pass her dad tomorrow.
I think that's the gimmick.
Yeah.
What is she at now?
I believe actually she is at.
Like
I want to say 11.
She's at 11. It's been like 4 years.
Right.
I know they've had 2 belts,
but Flair, like, he won his 16 titles over like 20 years. Like, his first title run, I think, was 81, and his last one was 2001.
See, I always thought he was like a late 70s champion, but
the Brainless one thought the same thing last week. I'm like, check it out, 81. Like, the
81,
Flair for the gold, which was the 1983 Starrcade pay-per-view main event was like the second or third title win for him against Harley Race.
Of course, the 16-time thing is only a WWE recognition. He's probably had 23, 24 world titles at some point. It just depends who you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So.
So AEW, Moxley going over on Jericho, winning the title. Good idea. Was built that way from the start, I feel. The second they got Jon Moxley, it's like, okay,
he's going to be
Jericho's our champion already, but we're going to slowly burn him up to be our guy. And that's exactly what they did. Moxley, obviously, great wrestler. Underutilized in WWE, I felt the same way. I thought he was the better of the three.
Bobby's stepdad is saying he likes the new co-host better. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for tuning in.
Him. He's brainless, so I'm sure you know that.
Yeah?
Yeah?
All right, so Monsef is saying Rick is a 21-time champ.
21 champ. Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, yeah. So
that's a lot of champs.
Like I was saying, Moxley, I thought was the best of the three in the Shield. I thought he should have been the biggest star of it. Of course, Roman Reigns had to look, and Seth Rollins was. I don't really know what they see in him. But
I think I enjoy his Monday Night Messiah thing.
Jesus!
But like other than that, he was the pure wrestler of the group. Roman was the presence of the group, and Moxley was the lunatic who could wrestle, talk, and fight.
He could do everything. Yeah. I mean, he could do. His promos were so goddamn good. He stood out from everybody else in WWE. But he realized, like, I can't read these stupid scripts anymore. And he even said on, I think it was a Jericho podcast, actually,
that's good shit, pal.
Yeah, it was good shit, pal. They wrote something for him that would have just absolutely shit on Roman's cancer. And he's like, I am not reading this. We are going to get in so much trouble if I do this. Like, you guys are going to have to fire me if I read this on television.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean, pal? It's like, no, I'm not saying this. Okay, pal. So but he's always stood out, and of course they've never beaten him in AEW. He was the only one who's protected.
Yeah.
So it made sense to jump him into that.
Thanks for tuning in, Larry. Have fun.
So that's why they built him for this. They had him go over on everyone. He had one draw. And it's like the only draw AEW's really ever had.
Cody had a draw against Darby Allin and the Moxley draw against Omega.
Yeah, that was like a time limit draw, right?
Yeah. And that's what both of them were like. So another thing AEW does that was brought back from NWA and WCW is they brought back time limits. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to make this seem more like a sport, you know.
Have a time limit.
Time limit, in boxing you sit there and you have 12 rounds and then you go. It'd be interesting if they brought scoring cards to this sort of thing.
I think that's a little goofy.
Well, back in the day, WCW a couple times brought in people they would bring in famous people to be the ringside scorers.
Yeah.
And one time they had like a dude who was Wayne from the Wonder Years, who's like Eric Bischoff's like production partner for all the like stuff they do.
Really?
Yes.
Wayne from the Wonder Years.
Yes.
The brother of Kevin.
Yes.
Huh.
So when Bischoff went to TNA,
named after.
Yeah. when Bischoff went to TNA, he was there too, helping produce. But there was it was Sting versus Flair. I think it might have been the first ever Clash of the Champions. That they went to a 45-minute time limit draw, and they went to the scoring cards, and like even the scoring cards were a draw. But it was Wayne from the Wonder Years, and then they had some, I think it was a Playboy Playmate or a Penthouse Pet, and then some other, like, I think actual wrestling person is the third personality in this thing, but, like, they had scorecards.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, but it was, so Moxley being champion, cutting that promo afterwards where he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what's fun about AEW. Like, they know who they're appealing to.
Absolutely.
They know exactly their audience. Their audience is people like us. Their audience is people probably a little bit younger than us, actually.
Yeah.
They're going for the 18 to 49 demo, which is perfect, and they keep winning it against NXT.
Yeah. So and they keep on winning in general. The viewership
and the demos. I mean, they're dominating right now, and I think that just shows people were craving something different.
Well, and that's why they got a 3-year contract extension.
Yeah, I mean, like
within a couple months.
Like immediately, and TNT liked what they saw. They like the ratings. They are expecting about 500,000. They're doing double that.
Yeah,
almost. So
yeah, the first week they were almost triple that, but they've kind of leveled out.
Well, yeah,
around 900,000.
I think there's a little hype. They leveled out around 900,000, which is great for a reigning wrestling show.
Absolutely.
That's not an established brand like Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. So good on them, but.
Because they're making smart decisions with their title, like we were just saying. I mean, Moxley's the guy, and he'll be the guy for a while, and then they're probably going to build up. He's a baby face.
He's
probably going to build up.
Pac is probably going to be challenging him at some point.
Yeah, and that'll be a great match. We also have MJF. They're still building up to be the big heel in AEW.
He has, to me, some unfinished business with Omega. I mean, they had the match where they beat. The unsanctioned match where they beat the holy hell out of each other, and Renee Young was like, "Oh my god!" She was like, "My husband's going to be dead."
It's like, did you not see his old videos from CZW? That's another thing. Like Moxley's allowed to do that shit now. Not like that, but you know what I'm saying. He's allowed to be a little more hardcore, which was, kind of the whole point of his whole being John Moxley thing. Yeah. Instead of doing gimmicky shit like bouncing off the second rope in slow motion.
Right. Well, so one thing that he did do that I thought was super hardcore and awesome was when he went against Seth Rollins in the lumberjack match at SummerSlam, and they figured out a way through insanity to get beyond the lumberjacks and were brawling throughout the entire crowd. I loved when they did that. That was freaking great, but
Moxley's smart.
I wish they would have done more things with him.
For a guy who didn't graduate high school, he's a pretty damn smart wrestler, isn't he?
Yeah.
He even admitted that. He's like, I stay at school, kids. I didn't graduate, but I'm not stupid.
Wait, the brainless one's here.
Wait, AEW had a pay-per-view? I said the same thing about Elimination Chamber, but I was actually being serious.
Well, yeah. That's how it rolls.
Well, that's WWE's own fault. They haven't promoted shit. I haven't even. Usually, I'm getting emails from WWE Network, or
you need to resubscribe,
or seeing ads on Twitter or Facebook for it. I haven't seen shit for Elimination Chamber.
Right. And you know what?
Not like
I've always enjoyed the Elimination Chamber gimmick. Now, last year's show was a freaking shit bomb.
Here's the thing about. You know how I feel about gimmick pay-per-views. I fucking hate them. It absolutely ruins the point of having a gimmick match. Elimination Chamber should be for, if the title's held up.
Yeah.
Or, a champion is, injured or something like that. Or have a big blow-off. You get a big-ass feud going on.
That's what Hell in a Cell
That's what Hell in a Cell should be for. Instead, we expect it every year, and it fucking ruins everything. Because, the whole point of gimmick matches are for blow-offs. And, that's why I hate steel cage matches now. They fucking suck. By the way, speaking of steel cage matches.
There were 2 of them on NXT this week.
I did not watch NXT this week. I gotta watch it still. However, I'm sure they were decent matches because it's NXT.
Right.
I was Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai won.
And then we had Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream, and there was a swerve at the end, and we will get into that shortly.
Okay. Yeah, we will get into NXT shortly. So back to AEW.
Yeah.
Jake Roberts now in AEW.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse said that he sounds like he's gonna wrestle. He's old as shit and can't move. He's not wrestling for shit. But
but my feeling. And one thing in wrestling news in the last few weeks is we heard that AEW signed Lance Archer.
That's awesome.
My feeling is Jake Roberts is going to be the mouthpiece for one Lance Archer. I can't think of any other big name person that they want to put with their number one babyface.
I'm just trying to think because everyone's Matt Hardy is coming to, because we'll get into Matt Hardy. So everyone's Matt Hardy's coming to AEW, maybe Jake Roberts and him are teaming up. It's Matt Hardy doesn't need a mouthpiece. Lance Archer kind of does.
He doesn't need a mouthpiece, and with bringing somebody like Jake in, you want to elevate somebody. Matt Hardy is in his mid-40s and like
and can do it himself. He's fine. If he can't talk by now, then he should just retire.
Right.
But we know he can.
And yeah, we'll get into Matt Hardy in a moment.
Yeah.
But like, I really enjoyed the promo from Jake. Obviously, like the years of drug and alcohol abuse has wreaked havoc on his voice. Like
his voice and his body, and he like
croaking a lot.
Yeah. Thankfully, Jericho saved his ass. I mean, he should be dead. Jake Roberts should have died probably about. He should have died probably 20 years ago. Remember Beyond the Mat?
Beyond the Mat.
Oh my God.
He was a wreck.
He was doing crack like in the documentary. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
I saw
like 10-year-old me's watching that doc. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucked up.
I saw him like 5 years later in the ring, and it was like one of the saddest things. Like he's sitting there like wearing like sweatpants and like just like the match lasted maybe a minute, and it was about 45 seconds too long.
Holy fuck!
He should have just done the DDT, and I got to see Jake Roberts do the DDT in person. So
I got to see Bret Hart do the sharpshooter in person.
Yeah,
ever tell you about that one?
No.
Yeah. So like it was a show in Meadville, Pennsylvania. It was a super card too. So this is about 2013.
Yep.
So we had some great people promoted for this event were like the Steiner brothers, who we'll get into in a minute. And there's also AJ Styles was there.
Oh, nice.
RJ City before he got kind of big. If you're not familiar with RJ City, he's a great indie guy. I don't know how he hasn't been signed by anybody over these past few years. He's fantastic on Twitter, fantastic promo, decent hand in the ring.
Yep.
RJ City was there. Mickey James was promoted, but she was pregnant at the time.
Oh,
so she had to bail. David Hart Smith, who fought RJ City, and I got to see Bret Hart do the sharpshooter on RJ City because Bret Hart was like the big special guest, and he was so nice.
Yeah.
Bret Hart, like he genuinely, he is so good to fans.
Okay.
Like you go to these meet and greets, you pay like $10. I mean, it's
right.
It's part of the game. That's how wrestlers make money.
Yeah,
and that's fine. And because you want to meet your heroes and stuff, and they understand that, and it's kind of actually, who's one of the first athletes to start charging for autographs? Bob Feller.
Oh yes,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Land great,
the GOAT.
Yeah,
but so you go to these things, and you get 2 signatures.
Yep.
Brett signed my ticket.
Yep.
And I take a picture of Brett. He signed that.
Cool.
And then he saw my poster. He's like, "Hey man, give that to me." I'm like, "Oh, I got 2." He's like, "No." Just signed it. We started talking, and for like the 30 seconds I meet, I don't. Here's the thing: I would probably ask some stupid wrestling questions I try to ask a question to them that like is gonna throw them off.
Yeah.
That they weren't expecting. I'm like, "Hey Brett, how did Hitman doing this year?"
Nice.
I think we talked hockey for that time. I was hoping to see you guys in Memorial Cup.
Well, so similar to you, like years ago, I met Christian.
Yeah.
It was during the NHL Stanley Cup Finals.
Uh-huh.
It was when the Boston Bruins were going against Vancouver. And I just said, Christian, who do you got, man? Are you Team Canada or are you going for the Bruins? He's like a Maple Leafs guy, but I have to go with the Canadian team. And
that's how most Canadians would answer that.
So, but like, I don't think he was expecting me to talk hockey.
No, exactly. Like you want to ask him a question that's going to throw him off. So if they're open about like an interest they have, but no one, because everyone, like probably everyone was asking about the fucking Iron Man match at WrestleMania, or like winning or losing to Bob Backlund, or the fucking screw job.
Right.
Like he probably gets those questions all the fucking time, and I'm sure he doesn't mind answering them. He understands what this is, but I always try to get them talking about something exciting for them. They're like, "Oh shit, someone's actually asking me about this. This is so cool."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool stuff. Cool stuff seeing Jake back in the ring. And the dude has been, he talked about in his promo about it taking him 20 years to get his act straight, and I think he was alluding to
only
the Beyond
20?
the Mat.
Only 20?
Documentary. Supposedly DDP helped save him about, 5 years ago.
Was Herc hiding back there the whole time?
Yeah, Herc. But, Jake, what was it, 5 or 6 years ago, kind of saved him, kind of got him back into shape. And,
Yeah.
That's when WWE's like, going, we better put this guy in the Hall of Fame while he's still
alive.
Well,
Vince McMahon.
He's failed in a few of those.
Quite a few at this point.
Yeah. But no, it was good to see him back in the ring. Good to see him cutting a promo. Like I said, there were a couple times where he stuttered a little bit.
Yeah,
but honestly,
that's fine. He hasn't been in the mic in a while.
Right. I think the last time might have been like in front of a large crowd, WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's like 5 years ago. He's doing the indie shows. That's how old wrestlers make money. They make appearances.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, because
awesome.
they didn't have a retirement plan, and guys like Jake spent all their money.
That reminds me, we got to go to a VCW show.
Okay.
Soon, because
that's kind of like one Billy Gunn still the champion.
I wonder if he is, but we should go to a VCW show because that's like the only big indie around here that we have. I call it a big indie, but
yeah,
it's one that gets some names. I mean, it's not like Hampton Road Trash Bag Championship Wrestling who has a bunch of bums.
Brainless one, you're always going to get Omega'd. Don't Eat Brown Snow tuned in and he Omega'd us.
Omega Bull.
Yeah.
I already Omega'd him earlier, but
yeah,
wasn't listening.
So I did dig though that like Jake alludes to the fact that Cody is the king of AEW, and he called him Caesar. He kept on calling him Caesar.
Hail Caesar! Little follow-up New Vegas reference for all you gamers out there.
Yeah.
I actually yelled that at TV when he said that. I'm like, "Hail Caesar!"
Nice.
Oh man.
So no, like I said, great to see him back in the ring, and I'm looking forward to the reveal. Who knows if it's next week, if it's a few weeks, maybe Jake sits there and fucks with him for a little bit, because that's what Jake the Snake Roberts does.
He's a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, AEW is really good at slow burns.
Yeah.
Which is like what you should do anyway. Like NXT used to be really good at that, and they kind of started getting away from it a little bit.
Because they're on
network. Yeah, and I think there's a little Mr. McMahon influence, to be honest with you. But slow burns are always better for business, in my opinion.
Yes. So, all right, we have that. We have the so like the Inner Circle. Moxley cuts a promo at the beginning of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Saying like, you know what, you're gonna have to pry this title out of my cold dead hands. And I dare anybody to come down and take it. And basically, Inner Circle comes out.
Everyone sings the theme song.
Oh, it's great. But like, I know that Jericho's a heel, but it's awesome.
But he just lets them do it.
Yeah,
he just like, all right, they paid their ticket. Let's let them have some fun. And he knows the song's awesome. It's a great song.
Yeah.
And then so like they do the promo, and Jericho's like, yeah, you like Jon Moxley as AEW champion? Well, I think it fucking sucks. I think it sucks ass. I think is what he said.
And then they chanted, "You suck ass."
Yeah,
for the rest of the.
And then he goes, and then they said a stipulation: if I lose tonight, I'll be out of AEW for 1 month. No, I'll be out of AEW for 60 days. And everyone started chanting "Fozzy sucks" like 3 minutes after they were singing the Fozzy song.
Right. Fucking wrestling.
But that's what's happening, because he's going to go on tour here in a second. So he's not coming to Lunatic Luau this year. Very upsetting. Lunatic Luau? I'm not lacking this year. Disturb's the only big name.
Yeah.
Kind of lacking.
Yeah.
Last year was so much fun.
No Lunatic Luau for me.
I don't think so. Not this time.
So one little tidbit that I'm going to put in about this is Jericho alluded to Moxley faking the eye injury. And then I love when Jericho's like, I've been training for 4 months to go against a one-eyed man, and you're a liar and a cheater. And it was a great thing. But it harkened back, actually, to, if my brain's working right, 2008. 2008 began his feud with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had a match with Batista, and like, Batista did like a back body drop, and Michaels like landed on his feet, but then pretended that his leg gave out.
Yeah.
And then Michaels used that to get over on Batista. And then Jericho came out and was like going, "You faked that," and like talking about faking the injury, and that was like the basis for Jericho. I think he was a face at the time, and that was the basis for him turning heel.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Shawn Michaels, he grew up and Shawn Michaels was his hero, and his hero wouldn't have lied and cheated like that. But when I saw that, I'm like, going, hey, he's kind of using that a little bit here. I know it's not jump starting this feud, but like,
no, it's like, hey, yeah, he's so good. So Jericho, yeah, earlier this week, I know Bobby's a big fan of the Observer, but I actually read it, and he the readers, do the annual awards.
Yeah.
And Jericho won like 4 of them, including Wrestler of the Year at age 49.
Yeah.
Oldest wrestler to win that by like 5 or 6 years. He's been so good the past 2 years. Ever since he left WWE, he's like a whole new wrestler. And that's not to say he was great. He was one of the great things about WWE. He was like one of the only reasons to actually watch that shit.
Yeah. Pal.
Yeah. Because Vince didn't really Vince reined him in, but like he was still he still was able to entertain within those parameters. Now he's got like he can do whatever the fuck he wants now, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good. Like when he gets to swear a little bit, he gets to promote his band because like I'm sure Vince won't let him. Well, Vince has told him you will never have any song but "Break the Walls Down" as your theme song.
Well, guess what? I totally forget about "Break the Walls Down" now. That's how fucking good Judas is. And honestly, you could probably change that to another. I'm sure he'll change it to when they put a new album out or something. I'll change it to a new one. Get himself over.
So one thing I'll have to. So with Jericho, when he sings, especially on like Judas, honestly, to me it sounds like it could be an Ozzy Osbourne song.
Oh, for sure.
He sounds like Ozzy.
A little bit, but he also sounds like Chris Jericho singing.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like
Ozzy and Jericho.
It's like it's Chris Jericho.
Right.
You don't even have to put a face to it.
Yeah.
But like he is obviously influenced by Ozzy Osbourne. It's not even like I mean, probably a little Skid Row in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I dug this segment, and Inner Circle talked about, hey, whoever we're coming for, or we're coming for you, Moxley. Don't get in our way because we're gonna destroy anything in our path. So. That was a cool segment, and the whole 60-day thing that he talked about being out, like the way they had the main event go was like perfect heel stuff. It's great. Yeah. All right. Beyond that, we touched on this before, but we had SCU with Colt Cabana debuting on Dynamite, and they beat the Dark Order.
And then the Dark Order beat them up.
And they're teasing the Exalted One. They even teased the Exalted One. I think it was on Twitter, like literally about 20 minutes before the podcast started. And I think this kind of leads into Matt Hardy officially being a free agent, talking about how he's talked with AEW. He said he's talked with Impact. He said he's talked with NWA. I'm pretty sure he wants to stay in the country. Like I think he'd have a fun run in New Japan if he wanted to.
Oh, that'd be so much fun for him. But like he's got his kids at home,
and I think he has a pregnant wife.
She again?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's gonna be kid number 4 for him.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. Shit. We thought he was gonna be dead 10 years ago. And now look at him.
Yeah, eating grapes in the middle of the night in his wrestling ring on doing like live videos. Crazy. I think it was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube. He was like, I'm going, like, tomorrow I was going to end it all. I'm like, whoa, holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta calm down, bro.
But I think that Matt Hardy should be the head of the Dark Order. Because he's talked about how, NXT, like Triple H, he had a great meeting with him, but it doesn't sound like he is ready to go into the coach role because he thinks he has a couple more years.
Well, Matt's only, 42, 43 years old?
I think he's 45.
45
because Jeff is my age.
Okay.
And Matt is 3 years older.
Yeah, so he's about 45. So, yeah, he's got a couple years left.
And I know that he's had, the back issues, and that was part of the reason why he was spending time out. I think part of his, vertebrae fusing.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, but he thinks like, hey, while I'm still physically able, I want to get as much wrestling and as much creativity with my characters as I can. And I think this would be an interesting way that they could have the broken Matt Hardy be like an even crazier or different version of itself. You know, I think it's going to be different than the reveal of, like, you know, when Vince McMahon was the higher power during the Ministry of Darkness.
It's me, Austin, or the Black Scorpion.
Right. The Black Scorpion at Clash of the Champions 13 is still one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life with his magic tricks. Like, literally, you have Jim Ross, a goat, Paul Heyman, a goat, trying to put over the Black Scorpion. Like, Paul Heyman's, like, interviewing Sting and, like, oh my God, what is he doing? What is he doing? He changed him into a tiger. Like, it's so incredibly bad that it's awesome. So good.
That's awesome. Oh man.
Oh yeah. So I think Matt Hardy is going to be, as much as maybe it seems like telegraphed a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes when something is a good idea, it's just a good idea, and go with it, and they will get it over.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you know, and everyone's like, "Oh man, let's go to AEW." I'm pretty sure he's signed. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there.
He had
it's just a matter
with the Bucks of Youth.
The Bucks of Youth. Yeah, the Bucks of Youth. he had the meeting with the man with 3 H's and teased with the Bucks of Youth. So
yes.
He's touched all bases, and of course, Matt Hardy is Matt Hardy. He's been around. He can probably go wherever the hell he wants. So,
and he had a meeting with the Pumpkin Smasher.
So my question to that is, you know, Jeff Hardy's about ready to come back.
Yep.
From whatever issue, you know, he's had some legal issues over the last year or so.
And knee issues.
Legal issues. It's not been a good year for Jeff Hardy, but he's about ready to come back. I'm just wondering if Matt going to the Rival will hurt him, or maybe they'll watch a rock up his ass and have another title run with him. I think he should have another single run. I think he should.
There was, I forgot who put it out, but basically what they did is, compared to when Matt Hardy had his thing, they ended up pushing Jeff. When Jeff Hardy has his thing, they end up demoting Matt. All the time. That's how it's always happened. I don't know why they do it. That's what WWE has always
the brother done. Always pays for, the older brothers pay for the younger brother's sins, like, all the time. What's Petey doing? He's getting underneath the covers.
Oh, yeah, that's what he does.
That's the thing for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Petey is the new dog. We haven't met Petey yet.
Yeah, Petey made a brief appearance on the podcast a few weeks ago.
That's good.
Yeah.
He still hasn't had a mark out moment yet, but
no, it has not. He's 5-star dog splash.
Yeah.
So
never 5 get.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to see where Matt Hardy goes and letting him be as creative as he feels like. And that's what more or less he said that is the thing that he wants.
Here's the thing with Matt, like, you know, them coming back to WWE, I think they knew what they were getting into. However, do you want to have one more chance at WWE? Because I don't think you liked the way it ended the last time, and I don't think you liked the way it ended this time too. But at least they had a tag title. That WrestleMania, you always talk about WrestleMania moment, which I fucking hate, but that was actually that was one of the that was actually cool shit.
I forget which wrestler it was. Said they were at the show and they were like, in all my years in WWE, that is the loudest I ever heard a crowd.
People were like at the concession stand and they heard the music, they rushed back in. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Ever.
So, good stuff, pal. Oh wait, good shit, pal.
It's good shit, pal.
So,
hey, good shit, pal.
All right, so there's that, blah, blah. So Jake Hager had a match against QT Marshall, beat him with the standing choke. Pretty much straightforward. Like, I'm not not going to say squash match, but it was pretty one-sided. You know, they're trying to make Jake Hager out to be a big deal. Jim Ross even teased that maybe he'll challenge for the heavyweight championship at some point.
Well, he's a Jim Ross guy. You know, Jim Ross is the one who
signed him, and they talked about him too.
Yeah. He almost called him. Did you hear him almost call Jack Swagger? Like, Jake Hager. Yeah. Here's the thing about JR. I love JR.
He's losing it a bit.
Yeah, it might be time for. I love hearing JR, but it might be time for him to step back a little bit. Maybe only call pay-per-views only, because you can tell it's kind of taking a toll on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, best commentator
ever
of all time for TV. Ever. No one's better. No one's better at describing the match. No one's better at getting the emotion out of the match. But it's just like when he's on TV every week, you can tell he's struggling a little bit. Tony Schiavone, on the other hand, he's made a fucking 180. He's made a huge comeback here. Yeah. He doesn't have to work at Starbucks anymore, which I like. The interview that he mentioned that was with Brian.
Brian.
Our coworker Brian Parsons did the interview with Tony Schiavone, because he's also the play-by-play guy for the Gwinnett Stripers of AAA baseball.
Yeah,
and they come here every so often. They play in the same division as the Tides, and he was like, "So, how do you like broadcasting?" He's like, "Well, I'm about to quit and go work at Starbucks because I get benefits there." And that's how the whole Starbucks and Tony Schiavone thing came about. So, but that interview was with our coworker, and he showed it to me. He was really proud of it because Brian was such a big WCW fan.
Yeah. So after this match, we ended up having a bunch of things go on where basically Inner Circle starts beating on QT Marshall, which gets Dustin to come down to the ring. Dustin gets beat on, which has Cody come to the ring. Eventually, the Young Bucks come to the ring because they're going to aid their pal there.
Hey, pal. Pal.
And they get beat down, and then slowly comes walking down the aisle is one Adam Hangman Page. Tommy, what's happening, dude?
With his dip cup.
He had a beer.
Yeah, was that a beer? I thought he was spitting.
No. But so literally, slowly but surely saunters down the ring, drinking a little bit of the beer, and then gets into the ring. Still has the beer cup.
Uh-oh.
Interesting. Anyway, so has the beer cup.
Are you streaming anywhere right now?
We're streaming on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Keep rolling. I'm gonna
keep rolling with it.
I'm gonna see if I can fix this bad, Larry.
All right.
So he comes streaming down the ring though with the cup, and the cup, more or less, is it's about half empty by the time he gets to the ring. And then, for me, like the meme was, hold my beer. Yeah. He put the beer on the turnbuckle. Then finally he goes and helps out, his boys.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he's
a good
Adam Page. Yeah, so, like that tag match he had at Revolution. That was so good.
Well, those four are like incredible in-ring workers, so
Yeah. I mean, people are like, "Oh, they don't have personality. They don't have whatever."
Hangman does.
Hangman does, and I think Kenny Omega does too. And
yeah,
but then you remember what wrestling's really about. It's about the in-ring shit. And guess what? There's not too many people better than those guys. So
yeah. So yeah, that kind of continues the feud with the Bucks and Page and all that stuff. Because right now what they do is they're having Omega kind of like he's being a good tag partner,
right?
And making sure that he keeps the titles around their waist, keeps his tag team partner happy. So for now, they're still a cohesive unit, and I don't even remember. They even mentioned why Kenny Omega was not around. I don't think they did.
They said, the tag match was so brutal that.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said about Nick Jackson as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we're almost ready to. All right. Almost rolling here again on Facebook.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, we're back on Facebook. I don't know what the heck happened there, but it just really dropped.
That does happen sometimes. You know, you just drop this. You know, the stream just kind of just drops after a while.
So we're back.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So you're talking about AEW. You're kind of rolling down the show here.
Yeah. So we just went over the part where we had Hangman Page just like casually sauntered onto the ring and actually help out the Young Bucks. But I think at the end of it, like when Bucks went to like shake his hand, he like smacked it away and walked out, in and out.
Didn't quit it. Thanks, sir.
Exactly. Then for our main event for this week, we had Jericho and Sammy Guevara going against Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. Now, Darby Allin is one of the new stars that really has been a breakout.
Darby all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah.
So coronavirus
has no effect on WrestleMania 36. We shall see.
We'll see. I mean,
I hope not.
I hope. I mean, but then again, it's a big global event.
They shut down South by Southwest,
which is huge. Like that's a big deal. They're shutting down South by Southwest. That's huge for Austin's economy. That's one of the two big events they have every year. They have South by Southwest and they have the U.S. Grand Prix. Fortunately, I think the U.S. Grand Prix is going to still go on in October, November, around that time. But South by Southwest, that's a huge fucking deal to shut down. So who knows? Maybe they'll run at WrestleMania in an empty stadium.
That would Vince McMahon would like tism.
Oh God, yeah. Hey pal.
WWE stock would, because that is the biggest money-making event they have of the entire year, between fan access, between takeover, everything.
Oh yeah, it's their marquee event, and you cancel it.
Well, I feel like they cancel it, or would they? Do you think they would delay it?
I think they delay it. I don't think you can't cancel WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. It's like canceling the fucking Super Bowl. You don't cancel the Super Bowl. You just delay it. So.
Yeah. So Jericho and Guevara going against Moxley and Allin. What they did, Inner Circle beat down Moxley before the match, so he could not compete. Mm-hmm. So more or less it ended up a handicap match where you had the Chris Jericho and the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, going against Darby Allin. And, like, you know, it was one of those typical, like, baby faces, really, like, babyface Darby Allin doing everything he can, fighting up with all his might, almost beating the heel team, and then eventually losing. So I thought it was good storytelling in the fact that, like, you know, Jericho set this whole thing up to have them take out Moxley, and they helped elevate Allin, I think, even more by, you know, the fighting spirit, and at the end having the heels do heel things, and having Moxley come out and kind of being defiant about the beatdown that he got before the match. And he's like, you know, more or less giving the visual middle finger, not real, but to Inner Circle, and then he got his ass kicked again and powerbombed through a table. Diva, kick the tables. So
yeah, I mean, good main event.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, they usually do pretty well with their main events on television. I've noticed.
Well,
it also helps that they're on once a week.
They're on once a week.
Yeah. And
they end up. They do a lot of like tag matches and 6-man tags, and I understand doing those because, one, they're almost all fresh matches, and two, it makes it so you don't see quite so many people quite so often in the same match over and over and over and over and over again, which
you lose to somebody, guess what? You're not finishing them again for a while.
At least for a little while,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the way it should be. You don't have to get their win back. You don't have to 50-50 book. There's winners and there's losers, and wrestlers understand. Yeah, they're there to do business. They know what it is.
Yeah.
There's like, I saw one wrestler who was like, I think it was I forget who it was. They flashed a record up, and they're like 2-8 this year. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Sad. Why are you still on TV?
I'm like, shit, bro. Like, they're just beating you left and right. You're a fucking jobber.
Yeah.
So, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the. Maybe it was Chuck Taylor. They beat the Best Friends a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know, the poor Best Friends. Like,
Yeah.
they're good hands in the ring. They're pretty good characters, and
they just get beat a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
they're like the Dolph Ziggler of the tag team division of AEW.
Well, they flashed up the record, and then the graphic said, Chuck Taylor, this is his first singles match in AEW. I'm like, holy fuck, you've been there for like 6 months, bro. This is your first singles match?
Yeah.
On television. Well, they weren't house shows, so I guess it is the first singles match in AEW.
All right. So Joe-Yo, the Brainless One's brother-in-law, tuning in, said he's with the Brainless One about to hit some bottles.
Hey, I did that last night. I regretted it. Yeah, hard, bro.
So
fucking
good times.
I'm so old now.
Brett, thanks for tuning in. He digs Macho Man hat, and he said, "Who do you think has a better wrestling name, Brock or me?" He says Brock's been ducking him for years.
Brett Savage.
Brett Savage,
brother.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go with Brett Savage.
I like Brett Savage.
It's a big name.
It's a pretty good wrestling name.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon would make you change that, but
you could be Brett Savage. You could be the Macho Man's son.
Oh, that too. Everyone had to have a family relation back in the day, right?
Remember when the Giant was Andre the Giant's son?
Such
so bad.
And I'm just like, yeah, he's not even that big. And then he got really fat.
Yeah.
And now he's just the big show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did the thing where he got all trimmed up and.
Well, you see him in WCW, he's like looking like a different person because he was skinny.
Yeah.
Still weighs 400 pounds when I know that. And then like halfway through his WWE run, like 2002, like yeah, he probably does weigh 500 pounds.
Yes. Yes. And that's when he got sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling with Mark Henry. Cause
that was before he got really fat though.
Well, Vince told him like, you need to go down there, you need to lose weight, pal.
He was weight, pal. And then he came back to WWE and he had a feud with Eddie Guerrero. He was fucking ginormous in that feud with Eddie Guerrero. He was fucking huge.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck, that dude's fat.
Yeah.
And then like 2009 came around, he's like, make that change, and now he's the not so big show.
Yeah.
He's like the 385-pound show. Cassius Ohno weighs more than him.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, so that was AEW for this week.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good show.
Good show, pal.
Good show, pal.
All right, so with the stuff with Raw and SmackDown, we'll kind of gloss over that because that's leading into Elimination Chamber stuff. But one segment I definitely want to talk about, and we need to talk about, Randy Orton and Beth Phoenix.
Fuck, that was good.
That is like one of the best segments I've seen in a little while.
Randy Orton, I swear, dude, he has been so awesome through this feud, and I just know the match is gonna fucking suck at WrestleMania because this is what happens every time with Randy Orton. Has awesome builds to his Mania matches, and it just never delivers. And it's not ever his fault.
Right.
But hopefully Edge has been working on his ring work.
Yeah.
Been really
getting the rust off.
Yeah, getting the rust off, getting the ring rust off. I mean, it's been, 9 years since he'd been in the ring.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how that match comes out with those two, if they're on the same page. Because, remember last time Randy Orton was in a big match at WrestleMania.
But there were bugs and other things.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Supposedly, like, that was Bray Wyatt's idea. And I think that's why Bray Wyatt got pushed down the card for a little while. Because Vince was like, I spent $2 million on that, pal.
I know you guys talked about it last week, but I'm just gonna mention this. Everyone's freaking out about Bray Wyatt, losing the title to Goldberg or whatever. I'm like, should he have lost to Goldberg? Probably not. But is Bray Wyatt actually a good wrestler? I don't think so.
I think
I think he's okay. He's not. Should he be world champion? Because he has great gimmicks, and then they get stale. Then in the ring, he's been involved in some pretty bad matches at the top of the card over the last few years. So
he has. All right. So Brett is saying he thinks RKO right now is a bigger heel than MJF.
RKO, okay, Randy Orton, probably one of the best heels in wrestling ever, mainly because he's an asshole in real life. So he's not
the
really,
gimmick.
He lives the gimmick. Did you watch the Ruthless Aggression?
I saw the part with Evolution.
Yeah, it's just showing how much of a smug asshole Randy Orton was back then. Still kind of is.
Yeah.
But and it's just like, wow, he wasn't really playing a heel. He is a heel.
Yes.
He is a heel in real life. He's a fucking dick.
Yeah. See that? I don't like that. Get out of here.
MJF is kind of similar in that way. Like, did you see the thing where he flipped the kid off?
Yeah.
And then, TMZ picked it up?
Yeah.
And then he said, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Like Crying Jordan, or Bald Gambler, as I call him.
Yeah.
And then Fred Rogan's, on NBC LA, talking about it. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is so great.
Well, the thing with Orton, he had the Triple H feud where he ended up, giving the middle rope DDT to Stephanie McMahon. He skull punted Vince McMahon. He went to he and Triple H had the brawl in Randy Orton's house.
Which Randy Orton's wife screamed. Oh my god, that was annoying.
But there was a good build up for that, and then the match was
the match sucked. Great build up for the
Bray Wyatt
match. Actually, and then they had more matches after that. Remember the House of Horrors?
Yeah, the House of Horrors.
And Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. When he fucking lights the fire and does his pose, I'm done. I'm so fucked. That fucking douchebag look at me pose, which I love when he does that. Oh my god, I was dying. I was punching my couch. It was fucking hysterical.
But, he'll have these good build-ups, and hopefully, I think they're going to give them time, and, both of them know how to tell a story in the ring. They're not going to go too fast as far as, hey, let's let this...
They're not going to make Edge do what he can't do. I'm sure Edge wants to push himself.
Yeah.
But Randy can carry a match. They're both great wrestlers. They both have great psychology. I mean, you don't forget that kind of shit when you're a wrestler. So Edge's not going to forget that kind of stuff.
Well, and when you're talking to psychology, I love, the lines that Orton put out there. I did what I did because I love Edge. And he's going to die in this ring. And you're an enabler. I love I love Edge more than you.
Oh, shit.
When he said that to
Beth Phoenix,
what? And then
she dick kicked him, and then she took an RKO, and she took it nicely. Beth Phoenix, man, I mean, she's semi-retired now.
Yeah.
But, she can still do it. If she wanted to come back full-time, I'm sure she doesn't want to do that. She's got her kids at home, and, with Edge being back and everything. But, she's on it. She's a horrible commentator, by the way. But,
I'm just saying.
Take care. But as a wrestler, I'd love to see Beth Phoenix come back into the ring. She doesn't have to talk at all. Just fucking wrestle, dude. Some of these women, I mean, WWE's women's division, much better than it used to be. Some of these women still need someone to kind of guide them along. And I think Beth Phoenix, and they have Natty. They have Natty, but having Beth Phoenix around would be awesome because for a while she wasn't the only one.
Beth Phoenix at this year's Royal Rumble was a fucking boss.
Oh, yeah.
When her head was split open and bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, how did that even happen?
They showed the part of the match where it happened. There was and it looked. I'm not gonna say a nothing, but it didn't look like something dramatic happened. And then her hair was almost as red as Ric Flair's back when he was in prime blading.
Oh yeah,
phase.
It was straight. I mean, it was bad. I was like, what the fuck happened to Beth Phoenix? That was the last WWE pay-per-view I watched.
Fucking boss.
Not Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but no, that whole segment was to me pitch perfect because they've been teasing Randy's gonna explain stuff, and then he's going, I don't know why I did it, and then they brought out Matt Hardy, had him beat up a couple.
They wrote him off,
and then have Beth come out, and Edge is going to be on Raw on Monday.
I found it interesting they put Matt Hardy into this. Because the whole thing with Edge and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, I think they're boys again.
They are.
But
they had a table for 3 where they discussed
stuff.
it.
They're boys again. But, like, for a while, like, that was a great feud back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was real.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, Adam. Fuck you up.
What he called, what was it, bite this or whatever they're...
Yeah, Adam's a fucking asshole. Fuck Amy.
Oh.
That was the funniest shit.
Yeah.
And it sucked. It shouldn't say it was funny. I fucked that Hardy up for a long time. And I think that's kind of led to
drugs and...
That kind of led to his problems, I believe. Yeah. But back then, like, when you're like 14 years old watching that shit, you're like, holy fuck, we got like a real feud here on WWE television. Let's see how this plays out.
And then eventually led to the sex on Monday Night Raw.
The live sex on Monday Night Raw where we saw Leah's tit. I was like, wow, they're actually going all out for this.
WWE TV.
Yeah, ruthless aggression. That was a fun era.
Yeah. All right. So beyond that, interesting in that we now have new Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits.
Very good for them.
You know, with the Street Profits here, it's like the thing I don't like about what's happened. You had the Viking Raiders, and like you were kind of doing a thing with Joe and what's his name with the Viking Raiders going against why this feud went on forever and I'm freaking blanking on it right now. Anyway, but they took the titles off the Viking Raiders so that the Monday Night Messiah and Murphy and the AOP like could get a title, but like why did you do that to take it off of them so quickly? Because if they're trying to say like, well, we need Rollins in this new faction to have a title, why are you taking it off them so quickly? Is this because they want the Kevin Owens feud to be Rollins and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania? And does that make sense? Like, do they think that Rollins is too big to have a tag team title match at WrestleMania?
Probably. But at the same time, I don't really give a shit what Seth Rollins does nowadays. I think he's boring. But Bianca got the smoke that night, big time. Yes, she did. Yeah. She was very proud. She was very, very proud of her husband. It's very cool to see them support each other so much on the social media. Yeah, you can tell they love each other very much.
Yeah.
But that was a good. Street Profits, you know.
Oh, they're good.
I think they're a great tag team. Like in the ring, you know, Angelo Dawkins.
Not great, but
not great.
Montez
Ford can do a lot of cool shit. They can talk and they can entertain, and that's a good thing
for WWE.
For WWE, I mean, like everyone in the crowd's down with Street Profits. I love Street Profits. I thought they were great in NXT.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I thought they sucked, but then they grew on me. It's kind of like the New Day.
Well, and Chris Brown saying like for him, he thinks they're just a little bit more too similar to Crime Time for him.
They're like the PG. They're a PG Crime Time. I mean, like Crime Time.
They're not stealing.
They're not playing into a horrible stereotype on television.
Right.
So
they're hype men who are into their chains and gold and having fun.
They're about having fun.
Drinking, and when they're in NXT,
drinking the Red Solo Cup. Do they do that still?
I don't think they do that anymore.
That was the fun part. They had the party juice, and they only have water in there.
Right.
Just having a good time.
But because of that, this is actually leading to what we're going to have the Street Profits going against Murphy and Rollins at Elimination Chamber.
That should be a fun match.
For a rematch.
That should be a fun match. I mean, Murphy's a fucking great wrestler. Seth Rollins is good in the ring.
Yeah.
So, that should be a fun match.
Yeah, Brett. Ford does have major elevation in his game.
And he can fucking fly, dude.
Yeah.
He is very athletic.
All right. I just have to ask this question.
Go for it.
Did Ricochet pee in Vince McMahon's cereal?
Oh, shit. Oh my god!
When he gets killed by Brock at Super Showdown,
right?
And then
which was expected.
Yes, but then he loses to Riddick Moss a couple days later. Now they were trying to say that he was still kind of beaten down from the Brock match.
You're losing the fucking Riddick Moss, who was in NXT for like 100 years because he sucked.
Yeah. What's up, Justin?
I'm actually shocked Riddick Moss actually showed up on the main roster because like. he was in a tag team with Tino Sabatelli.
And they both got hurt.
And they both got hurt at the same time. I think Tino's done. I think he's retiring.
Why not, man?
But then you have he's probably still has NFL life. He's probably okay. But and then Riddick Moss all of a sudden he's on WWE television. Like, what the fuck? Why? And then,
but he's beating Ricochet, who, I mean, there have been reports out there by a lot of people that Paul Heyman is super high on Ricochet.
He should be.
And they wanted to do like a slow burn build for Ricochet. And it's like, how do you do that? And it's like, I don't know if this is Vince McMahon's way of telling Paul Heyman, you may love this guy, but I'm still the fucking boss.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me.
Riddick Moss sucks. All right, like that's just. I have never seen him. It's been a lot of people on Twitter are like, oh, this guy's getting buried, and it's usually not true. But this was a fucking burial. I mean, this was to a T. This is what burial. This is like the textbook burial of somebody. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Ricochet deserves better than that, and I don't know what they're thinking with this. Are they thinking a Daniel Bryan kind of thing? They're trying to create. Are they trying to make him the next Daniel Bryan, like where they beat him and beat him and beat him and beat him, and then all of a sudden?
And they kind of did that with Kofi last year, and
I fucking hate that. That's so dumb.
So what Chris Brown was saying, he's as he hears it, he's heard that Vince does not like Ricochet's promo skills, and
they're not very good.
They're not, but Brock Lesnar can sometimes cut a promo, but he's much better. Like if you do an interview thing and ask him a question, he just
use one more thing.
I love it. Comes out and answers the question like straight off. Like I think he's just not great in front of the live crowd, so he needs Paul Heyman.
Yeah, and it's probably Ricochet the same way. But the problem is Vince McMahon hates managers for what he's on his kick where he just hates managers, even though I think he's starting to warm up to him because you got Zelina Vega, you got Paul Heyman,
you got Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's a manager in a way now, so maybe he's starting to warm up to the idea. Hey, maybe we should have some managers again.
Yeah,
build up because that will help us build stars. Which is the whole fucking point of having a manager. Oh, I hate Vince McMahon sometimes.
Right, so we were supposed to get an AJ Styles versus Aleister Black one-on-one match, but we got swerved. In this match, in the contract that was signed, it said more or less that it was an Aleister Black versus OC gauntlet match. He had to beat Anderson. He had to exactly. Then he had to beat Gallows, and then he would face Styles. Basically, he beats the first two, and by the time he gets to Styles, he's basically dead. And typical babyface stuff, and fighting the good fight, but ends up losing fairly
That's
easily.
That's like one of the first time he's lost on TV.
It's been a long time since he lost.
Yeah, because I don't know. This just doesn't know what to do with him.
So what they're doing now at Elimination Chamber, we are having a no DQ match between Aleister Black and AJ. Now, I don't like the fact that they're putting a gimmick match in a different gimmick pay-per-view, because now there are 3 gimmicks, I guess. But what this, I think, will lead to, in my view, and we'll get more into this when we get to Elimination Chamber predictions, I think a dead man may show up. And that way Aleister Black wins the match in some way, shape, or form. That's just what I think, but we'll get more into that in a little
bit. Was AJ Styles the web editor?
Yes. You know what, Undertaker? I was the guy who put together the top 45 list.
I'll tell you what, it felt good to see your reaction. You actually logged into Twitter and actually used it.
All right, so Shayna Baszler originally on Monday was supposed to be going against Asuka. Asuka got hurt on a house show like the night before. Yeah. It was not a bad injury, but they had to keep her off.
Save her for the chamber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And basically, Baszler beat Kairi Sane in
again
pretty good match. Yeah. There are some murmurs out there that despite the fact that it was a good match, that the crowd he didn't get the reaction from the crowd that he thought they should get, and supposedly does not see Shayna is big enough to be in a WrestleMania main card thing.
What the fuck was he expecting? I mean, it is like the 6th time they've wrestled each other the last 2 years.
Supposedly.
I mean, Kairi Sane's a fucking great wrestler.
Yeah.
She's the 2nd best woman on the roster behind her tag team partner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. He's so fucking weird with shit.
So, I mean, that may play into what we see at the Elimination Chamber, but, you know, based on the women that are in this match, Elimination Chamber match, I don't see anybody else, like, as far as, like, making this match, elevating it to a different level other than Shayna. I mean, I've always kind of harped about Shayna is not great on the mic.
No.
She would be good if she had somebody talk.
I believe Mia Yim called her Sharon Corbin.
Yeah.
Very good comparison, honestly.
So that in a nutshell was everything that kind of encapsulated the main things on Raw that were leading to Elimination Chamber and some stuff that is leading to WrestleMania. Oh, and also Drew McIntyre did lay out Brock Lesnar with like 20 million Claymore kicks.
Brock.
Yeah.
Lesnar.
And Heyman had said that Drew was not worthy of main eventing against Brock Lesnar. Yeah. So.
Well, I think a lot of people have proven that they're not worthy of main eventing against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You have to say Brock Lesnar like that.
Yeah.
It's a new gimmick.
All right, so SmackDown, we had a moment of bliss with the NWO.
For life. But it wasn't the real NWO. It was the Outsiders and
It didn't have Hulk Hogan, brother.
Yeah, I wonder where he was. Are they keeping him off terrestrial TV or what?
They were probably keeping him off either till Hall of Fame or until, WrestleMania weekend, maybe, brother.
Hey, brother. We got champion SmackDown, dude.
Another Hall of Famer who's going to be on WWE TV in the coming weeks is one Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Where'd they go? I'll let you watch.
So I'm wondering if Austin will have a role in WrestleMania this year.
There are only like 3 people who will probably get me to watch SmackDown now.
Yeah,
and he's one of them.
Yeah. So that's another thing coming down the pike. But at Moment of Bliss, they had like NWO talk, but eventually it turned into a thing where it was Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Nakamura kind of face to face against the NWO.
They're not wrestling, are they?
No,
there's no fucking way Scott Hall can wrestle.
And Braun ended up coming out, and the match they had booked for Elimination Chamber is a 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental title with Cesaro, Zayn, and Nakamura. Yeah. So we're going to finally see Sami Zayn wrestle again.
He hasn't wrestled in like a year. It's been a long time since he's wrestled.
And he's been medically cleared for a while. And, Brainless One and I talked about this not too long ago, where is this because they think Sami Zayn's brittle and he can't do the hardcore WWE schedule? Because, he messed up his shoulders several times now.
Both his shoulders, yeah. He's got bad shoulders.
So,
well, then again, Randy Orton messes his shoulder up like every 2 years, and they're like fine with him. So
yeah. So I don't know if it's that or they're just giving him a bit of a break before they figure out what they're going to do with him next. So
yeah, I agree with that, Brett.
Yeah,
Moolah was
the Moolah 28-year title reign. I mean, they kind of like did away with the title for a little while, and then like randomly brought it back. And then there was a time when she finally lost it to Wendy Richter,
and then she screwed Wendy Richter.
The first ever really screw job.
That was Moolah politicked her way to that title reign a lot. I mean, that's there's no doubt about it. I mean, she kept a lot of women's wrestlers down, and which is why the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal never happened because she was a bad person.
Yeah,
the people complain to the sponsor. You complain to the sponsor and they say something, like you gotta pull it.
Yeah,
Now, Mae Young was not a saint either, but we still have the Mae Young Classic.
Yes.
So, but Mae Young was funnier.
Right. And as far as Becky's title reign, I don't think it's too long. I think her character needs a freshening, in my view.
Yeah, you know, the main thing is going on for what, 2 years now?
It started in SummerSlam.
Year and a half ago.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't see wrestling. Even Austin 316 changed to what after a while. All right, like you gotta
evolve.
Gotta freshen up, change your promos a little bit. Can't be like on the button for a horrible Irish accent. Or for being an Irish person, but yeah, I actually sound more like Sheamus there.
It's a shameful thing, Lobster Head.
Yeah, I can't believe they're not letting him use that fucking song. That pisses me off so much. This is the best song ever. The best theme song ever because we can all scream it.
Yeah.
And you know, now it's a bunch of fucking bagpipes like in fucking college again. I went to a school where bagpipes were a thing. You could actually major in bagpipes in college. Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we had that, and at some point during this segment, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross challenged the Kabuki Warriors to tag titles match.
That's gonna be fun.
And it's not officially listed on the Elimination Chamber card. I'm wondering if it's going to be Elimination Chamber or if it's going to be SmackDown in the next couple of weeks.
Or maybe WrestleMania. See, the problem here's the thing. I knew this would happen. It should probably be at WrestleMania or a big show. But with SmackDown being on Friday nights in a primetime slot, they have to have these big matches.
They do.
All the goddamn time. And it's just like, I knew this would hurt them.
Yeah.
Like in the long-term booking kind of thing, even though they don't really do that anyway. But now it's like pretty apparent. Like they've had Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin like 12 times in the last like 3 months.
That was for them pretty long-term booking. The Baron Corbin Kurt Angle thing was kind of long-term booking.
Well, you saw that story this week with Kurt Angle saying, "I wanted to have John Cena as my last opponent," and they're like, "No, pal, you got to finish your storyline with Baron Corbin." Could you imagine telling someone that? Hey, pal.
Yeah.
It's your last match, but you gotta be against Baron Corbin, who can't fucking wrestle.
But they did do the Daniel Bryan Miz thing, and for what I thought was a surefire storyline, they botched that to hell. That was a 9 or 10 year storyline that when Bryan came back, they fucked it up. That should have been in WrestleMania, and it wasn't.
It should have been like the semi-main.
Yes.
Because remember, it wasn't even a 10-year thing. It was like a 3-year thing, too. With Bryan saying, with that promo that the Miz cut on him on
during when they
Talking Smack, and he just fucking leaves.
But if you're talking the beginning of the storyline, it was NXT, the first season.
Yeah, of course.
Miz was the rookie, and Miz was his coach.
Which was kind of fucking stupid, because Daniel Bryan was already one of the best wrestlers in the world at that point.
He was, but the thing was like the Miz is like, you got no personality and blah blah blah, and then they did the thing about him being a vegan and him not having personality, and then like Daniel Bryan obviously evolved into a really good promo, and and he was a good promo.
He essentially called him Chris Benoit without saying the words Chris Benoit on television. That's what he's. Yeah, I mean, because he can't say Chris Benoit,
right?
But
basically, he became a good promo, and then when they brought him back, they misfired on that storyline.
Yeah, no, he became a very good promo around 2014 when he had his big run, and then when he was general manager of SmackDown, he got mic time because that's all he could do.
Yeah,
and he was on Talking Smack, that's all he could do, and he got good on the microphone, and then he comes back, and what do they do? Hi, Nick.
What's happening, Nick? They do on occasion do long-term storylines, but not as well as they should.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with the things for the tag team division here, part of the reason why they ignored it for a little bit is Kairi Sane got hurt, and Asuka needed to do a singles thing for a little bit. I thought they were just going to take the titles off the Kabuki Warriors, but right now the Kabuki Warriors have defended those titles probably about as much as Dean Ambrose defended the U.S. title when he broke the record, and he only defended the title like twice. Maybe. Because he had the U.S. title, I think, for 10 months, 10.5 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
it was wild. It became like a meme. It became a joke.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel Bryan, or Dean Ambrose, he's been the U.S. champion. It was like, it wasn't even, it was like for more than a year. It wasn't
it
even
was
like,
ridiculous.
It was a ridiculous long time. And then all of a sudden, I guess we got to get this belt off of him. So he had to have a match.
Brett, I am not sure when the Mae Young Classic is coming back, but I'm sure they will be coming back with that. It's been a good platform to either send people to NXT UK, NXT.
I'll tell you what, that UK show they have, man, that's some good shit, pal.
And I am anxiously awaiting Takeover Tampa when we get Walter versus Finn Balor. Yeah.
Yeah. Both hands on my dick for that one. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
So, yeah, we have that, but with the, I guess they're trying to put together more female tag teams to be like, oh yeah, we have a women's tag team division, don't we?
Do you think they're kind of afraid to do a Mae Young Classic now with AEW, like ready to poach if they don't sign somebody?
I don't think it gets,
because it's not just for them, because they're bringing in unsigned people.
Yeah, they're bringing in.
But now you have competition, like a legit competitor that can actually watch these matches too. And if you don't sign somebody, be like, all right, they're ours.
I would say it comes down to how much confidence do you have in your scouting and your leadership down in NXT.
I mean, they should have I think they have all the confidence in the world. They should.
So if they do, I would say that they should be completely fine if one of the coaches down there says, like, I don't think this person's ready for prime time. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to the rule. You got Stone Cold Steve Austin, who they said was not going to be anything in WCW. You got The Undertaker, who was told he was not going to be anything by Ole Anderson.
Me and Mark.
And yes, there are always exceptions to the rule, but if they feel confident enough in their people scouting the talent and seeing the things up close, I'd say that they shouldn't be frightened of that. But I'm just saying.
Take care. Did you see that picture OJ posted of coronavirus? He forgot to get gloves. It was so good. It's like, who's afraid? And then someone replied, someone was like, yeah, coronavirus I have a higher death rate being around you than coronavirus. OJ Simpson on Twitter, everyone. It's a good follow.
Oh, OJ. So, a similar note related to the coronavirus, we have a website that we go to where they sell various things.
Okay.
Usually it's knockoff NFL jerseys or baseball jerseys.
Or hockey jerseys or any sports jersey you can think of. It's called DHgate. And I'm sure if you're a sports fan who's looking for a cheap knockoff jersey, if you don't care if it's a knockoff, perfect. I have like 12 jerseys from them. And they cost like $15. Right. And they look good.
They look good.
As long as you get the right supplier. China. So like
they're from China.
So we both get an email the other day saying like, protect yourself from coronavirus, and they're selling like surgical masks. I'm like, the last place I'm going to get fucking protection from the coronavirus is a Chinese wholesale site that specializes in knockoff sports jerseys. That's the last place I'm getting shit from. Because I will get sick. Let's be real about that.
Yeah. All right. So, anyway, hey,
Brett,
they had.
Can I say, I actually appreciate Brett putting his subjects in all caps. Yeah, I can see it.
Sometimes it's tough to see. All right. So, we did have a couple of female tag team matches. We had Sasha Bailey, or Sasha Banks and
the Bailey.
And they went against Naomi, and I forgot who Naomi's tag team partner was, but literally the week before, Naomi and her tag team partner beat Bailey and Banks. And then this week, what did they do?
50-50.
Yep. So Bailey and Banks won, but at least they have a couple of women tag teams now that you're like, oh wait, there's like 4 of them, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, comics have been on TV too. So
yeah, for a long, long time.
Yeah, I think Peyton Royce has been hurt.
I heard that one of them was hurt for a bit, but I've heard that they've been cleared. But creative has nothing for you.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
just get him on TV. Just give him some time. You gotta be joking me.
So we had that. And then we had a Firefly Funhouse. It was a good segment because Bray actually brought it back. This is why the Fiend's after John Cena. My downward spiral started at WrestleMania 30. Is kind of what he's saying. My downward spiral into the darkness. So I know
what was WrestleMania 30 for.
He lost to John Cena.
That's right.
So
I'm like losing track because they don't number the WrestleManias anymore.
Right.
So now I'm like losing. Another stupid thing Vince McMahon decided.
It makes it look old.
Makes it look old, pal. It's like, not really. I
don't think the Super Bowl's old.
Like now, I only remember WrestleMania 31 as WrestleMania play button.
That was a great intro, though.
This year's WrestleMania is WrestleMania Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like
the WrestleMania Pirates, brother.
WrestleMania Pirates.
I am still hoping the hope for the intro of the show. Hulk Hogan comes in on the Thunder in Paradise boat. Oh my God, that'll be so good and terrible.
No, what really should happen is his son drives into the ring.
So bad. So bad.
Yeah, Brainless might not want to be near the ramp for that one.
So Firefly Funhouse, Bray talked, again, going back 6 years with the John Cena, and more or less talked that was the start of the darkness, and that this is coming for a full circle, and that's why he's coming for John Cena. So, good on him for actually thinking about it being a long-term story. Now, we all understand that they're like, hey, Cena, who do you want to face? How about The Fiend? And to me, the only outcome for this to make sense with him losing to Goldberg, The Fiend losing to Goldberg, is he needs to beat John Cena. He needs to. Otherwise, to me, the character is dead.
Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chris Brown's saying they need to bring Johnny Depp.
Oh,
they just announced.
My God,
they just announced Pirates of the Caribbean 6 supposedly with Johnny Depp. He said after 5 that he was done, but apparently, like,
dude, Disney is spending a lot of money, bro. You see how much money they're spending recently? They got Rick Moranis to come out of retirement. Are you fucking kidding me? They're doing a Mighty Ducks series, and they got Emilio Estevez to be in it. They spent a ton of money on
Mandalorian.
They're spending a ton of money on these Marvel series. There's gonna be a Scarlet Witch, a Vision series. There's gonna be what's it called? There's gonna be
Mandalorian season 2.
Mandalorian season 2. There's gonna be Captain America. Not Captain America. I'm sorry.
New Captain America.
Well, yeah, New Captain America. I'm gonna forget
with the Falcon.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I think they're doing a She-Hulk series. They're spending a fuck ton of money.
They're making a fuck ton.
Because they're making a fuck ton of money, so they're just like, fuck it, we're just going to invest and make everything cool.
Yeah.
That's why I like Disney having all these properties. Even people like, I hate Disney Star Wars. It's like, not really.
Rogue One was a great movie.
Rogue One was amazing. It was a great movie. Probably the best Star Wars movie I've seen.
I enjoyed Force Awakens a lot. I enjoyed The Rise of Skywalker. I actually enjoyed Solo. I thought Solo was a solid movie.
I enjoyed The Rise of Skywalker.
Ray was your favorite, wasn't she?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was Kevin's favorite too. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
All right. So what they did for SmackDown for the main event, so they had all the teams that are going to be in the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match.
Okay.
And whoever wins the gauntlet match will be the last one out of the pod. So
good stipulation.
So usually they do pretty well with these gauntlet matches, and they did a good job I think in this respect that they built up a lot of sympathy and a lot of love for Heavy Machinery, and it's been a thing that they've been really good at lately, only to, at the end, have Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler steal a win from their clutches to give them even more sympathy and have more people like, I want to see them win the titles. And I don't think it has so much to do with Ziggler and Roode, but it has more to do with Heavy Machinery getting over. So Heavy Machinery, they're doing kind of this slow build, slow burn of getting them up to the top of the mountain. So
it's a pretty big mountain for them.
Yeah.
Big boys.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I mean, what's really interesting to me with WWE, like they went, I mean, years and years and years without a gauntlet match. And all of a sudden they're doing them pretty regularly now.
Yep.
But it's a good, I think they're a good gimmick. I think it's a good way to get somebody over.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get them over. And
just don't do it too much, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Uh-oh. He's having autism.
So one thing that I constantly tiss them about on the podcast is when you have a champion lose matches.
I hate that shit. Well, remember when Seth Rollins was champion like 5 years ago? He lost non-title matches. He lost like every match. It was fucking annoying.
So, since The Miz and Morrison have won the tag team titles, I think they've lost more than they've won. I'm upset by it too.
Me too, Petey. Make me tizzle.
But I know that this was part of a gauntlet match, but you had Heavy Machinery who had been through, I think, 3 matches at that point, lose to Miz and Morrison.
You're biting at his paw.
No. So basically, Miz and Morrison lost to Heavy Machinery, who had already been through like 3 matches. And it's like, I know that this is part of a thing, playing for a storyline going into the pay-per-view, but I hate seeing champions lose so much. I think they've lost 3 times, and I think they've won once or twice since they've won the titles.
I just like how John Morrison comes back and all of a sudden like, hey, pal, what worked with you last time? Well, I was in a tag team with The Miz. Done. Hey, at least he hits the slow-mo.
Yeah.
See, they gave him his song back, but they won't bring back Lobster Head.
Shameful thing.
Did you see Jeff Hardy did a little thing on WWE Backstage this week?
I heard that he said that he was cleared to wrestle. And
he wants No More Words to be a song. If they give him No More Words, I want fucking Lobster Head, all right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So quickly on to NXT. Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox in a steel cage match.
So is that their blow-off?
I'm going to say maybe not, because there was fuckery at the end, similar to what they had at the TakeOver Portland.
What's her name?
Raquel Gonzalez basically pinned Tegan Nox between the cage and the door.
I see.
That allowed Dakota Kai to exit.
Mm.
So it's always funny. They have the steel cage match was originally designed so you keep people out so they can't interfere.
But now,
inevitably,
almost every fucking cage match WWE has, there's interference. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that happened. But, you know, it in my view, I don't think it's a blow off. I think it's a continuation. I know usually like the cage match, the gimmick match should be the blow off, but it feels because there was fuckery again that maybe she evens the odds and maybe creates a tag team and they go against, you know, Tegan Nox finds somebody to team with her. And maybe that's something that happens.
I wonder who would team with Tegan Nox. I mean, the obvious choice is probably Candice LeRae. So, but like, maybe Tegan has something up her sleeve. Maybe Nia Jax will come back and like because LeRae Gonzalez, she's built. She's very tall.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
So I think Nia Jax would be a natural rival for her. And they obviously don't give a shit about main roster anymore, so they can go back and forth. But Christopher say, oh, that's a long comment.
All right, so this is actually an update on Scott Steiner's condition. So Scott Steiner, who did collapse and was brought to a local medical facility, a.k.a. a hospital, reportedly treated by EMTs on the scene and used a defibrillator before being taken to the hospital, where he remains in stable condition as of 11 a.m. Saturday morning. He is set to undergo a heart procedure, although specifics are unclear.
Probably gonna put a pacemaker in. That's a speculation.
Pacemaker, or well, I mean that's I think what. Nothing against somebody who's hurt, but your years of abusing your body, as he has.
Oh, the roids are strong with that one. So I saw him at that show I was talking about earlier. He was at that show too.
Yep.
He was kind of an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. Rick Steiner's the nicest dude ever. He's very nice.
Okay.
Scott Steiner, not so much. Scott Steiner, but it was funny. Like Rick Steiner lost a lot of muscle mass. I think he had cancer before that. So like he lost a lot of muscle mass. He's wrestling in an oversized T-shirt. He weighed like 200 pounds max. Scott Steiner's up there like 320 pounds of muscle at age however old.
57 now.
Yeah, he was 52 back then. I'm like, holy fuck. At least he came out to his siren music.
Yeah.
But that was he was fun though. He had a good match. Fought an established tag team in IWC, which is where Adam Cole, baby. He was part of that too. So
nice. And
Britt Baker. I think Britt Baker was there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was there at the time.
All right.
You gotta calm down, bud.
So we had Undisputed Era going against Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. This was not like one of the. This was not a technical masterpiece, but it was more in my wheelhouse because I like to see people beat the hell out of each other. Or at least it looks like they are. And whenever Burch and Lorcan are in there, it's always like that English strong style type match. That's what it was here. But we ended up having Undisputed Era going over, and they're demanding a rematch against the Broserweights, and I believe that was accepted, and I believe happening at TakeOver Tampa.
Oh, that should be fun, brother. TakeOver Tampa, brother. Come to my house, brother.
Come to my restaurant, brother.
Come to my restaurant, brother. Downtown Tampa, brother. Dude.
So that should be good. And one last thing of note, the main event on NXT this week was another cage match. Roderick Strong going against the Velveteen Dream. So gets to a point in the match where Dream is about to win the match.
Right.
Undisputed Era comes out. So obviously cage match.
So literally everything I hate about WWE cage matches happened twice.
But
wait,
the swerve at the end of this is Velveteen Dream purposely lost the match to lock himself in the cage with Adam Cole, baby, jump-starting a feud
with Adam Cole, baby.
Because to me, it looked like there was no more clear opponent for Adam Cole, baby, going into WrestleMania weekend.
Well, because, Johnny Wrestling and Tommaso Ciampa restarted their thing, which
I thought Finn Balor was going to end up being the guy going against Adam Cole, baby, but because they're going with him against Walter, I mean, I'm not going to be complaining about either of these matches, but I thought it was a cool little, like, he lost on purpose so he could beat the hell out of Adam Cole.
That should be fun. I mean, first of all, he's fucking with Rock. I think the whole gimmick is for him to fuck with all of the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
He's fucking with Roderick Strong. They use Roderick Strong to get to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Velveteen Dream does.
All right, so we got a comment that was spoken in Oni Lorcan language, all capital letters. I'm so happy that Moxley is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. About time they got the younger guy with the strap.
Yeah, and we touched on that earlier. Like I was saying, Jericho, I think, needed to be the champion at first because he's established star. He's better than ever, and it doesn't really matter how old he is.
Right.
But it's good to have somebody, one of these world champions, be a younger person.
Yeah.
So, because, with Bill...
If you're counting Jericho in this, the average age of the world champion was in the mid to late 40s.
Yeah. Because Rollins brought it down a little bit.
Lesnar, 42?
Lesnar. Yeah, Lesnar, I'm sorry.
42 years old, is the young one.
Yeah.
But, he's Jericho.
Jericho's like middle-aged compared to old.
Yeah.
Get old.
Yeah.
But it was a good night. No, and like we said, it was good to have Moxley. finally get that slow burn, but they finished it off. Had a great pay-per-view. I thought it was good.
So Andy is saying he believes that the client is none other than Brody Lee.
That's a good
idea. Not Lance Archer.
I think it's a good idea. My
only thing is for a guy like Brody Lee, Brody Lee is no spring chicken either.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably a bigger upside with Lance Archer, and that's why I think Archer is more of the guy that they want to put is Jake the Snake's mouthpiece. So. Sorry, Brett. I forgot. Tessa Blanchard's 24.
Oh, that's right. Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Velveteen Dream is going to be going against Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah,
most likely to take over Tampa.
You okay, bud?
He's fine. He does this a lot.
He's having a toozle.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into Elimination Chamber, and we'll get into some predictions here.
Let's do it.
All right, so...
Wait. Elimination Chamber?
Yeah. So,
I don't want to see it either, PD.
One match that they've been teasing and finally was actually accepted and set up for Elimination Chamber, we are going to have Drew Gulak versus Daniel Bryan. I can't wait for it either.
Yeah, that's going to be a good match, huh, PD?
Drew Gulak is one of those guys that killed it on 205 Live when he was there, and has done a lot of good things with character development, and they used him to build up Kushida when they brought Kushida in, and they had, like, all right, you're the submission specialist, so am I, and, like, they had great matches. Well, when they brought Gulak up to the main roster, now, like...
Who you put him with? You put him with Daniel Bryan.
And they had him on commentary for a couple of, weeks, like, saying, oh, I've spotted a couple of holes in Daniel Bryan's game. I think I need to teach him something.
Oh, God.
So...
It's funny, Drew Gulak was one of the trainers of Guy now.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy, that's hilarious, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
A man called Sting.
Yeah, if Sting wins the WWE title, I'm never fucking watching wrestling.
This is Sting. Did you see when they had Gary Michael Capetta on AEW like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Still has that voice. So anyway, Daniel Bryan going against Drew Gulak. Which I'm excited for this match. I'm excited to see where this goes.
I hope they get more than like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be. We're going to have the 2 pre-show stoppers here. If they give them the pre-show and give them 15, 20 minutes, it could be like a few years ago when they when Cruiserweight title where what the hell was? Yeah, it was Cruiserweight title.
It was Pac and.
Yes, Austin Aries.
Yes,
and they might have had like the best match of the night
at WrestleMania,
and that was nobody saw it.
That was a pretty bad WrestleMania. Oh yeah, because they were having problems with the tickets and stuff.
Yeah,
I know it was a good match. No one saw it. I was upset too.
So if they put this on the pre-show and give them time, that could be good. But I don't know. Part of me feels like Gulak's going to win, but if you're putting a gun to my head and said you need to pick the winner, I'm going with Daniel Bryan. He just had the ending of his feud with the Fiend, so I'm going to say Daniel Bryan's here, but it will still. Daniel Bryan's so good at his job, it will elevate Gulak. I hate booking and having somebody lose, but I think that's where it's going here. Brainless One also says Daniel Bryan.
I'd also say Daniel Bryan, established star. Drew Gulak, not quite as established. Plus his brother is a pedophile.
Yeah.
So maybe getting punished.
All right, a couple minutes, puppy. All right, U.S. title match. Andrade, fresh off of his suspension, is going against...
That's been 30 days.
Yeah, because he reappeared at Super Showdown.
Well,
so he's defending
30
against
days.
Humberto Carrillo.
So Andrade's going against Humberto? I thought it was Angel Garza.
Nope. Andrade, U.S. title match.
All right. Because I know they did Humberto and Angel.
Yeah.
Or Angel.
Yeah.
Weird to call him Angel. But because Angel, they did that for a while. They did it like 5 or 6 times, right? Yeah, that was a lot.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's good to have a new opponent for Humberto. I love Humberto. I think he's a great wrestler.
But the thing is, like, when Andrade went out, you know, he won a match against Humberto Carrillo on pay-per-view. Actually, I think it was Royal Rumble. And then the next night, like, they knew that he tested positive for a banned substance and were going to suspend him. And it's like, why didn't they just take the title off him? Because they do have the 30-day rule that they conveniently forget sometimes, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they had Carrillo win it by countout.
Yeah.
So continuation, I guess, of that storyline.
I mean, well, here's the thing with Andrade. You know how politics kind of plays into wrestling.
He's married to
He's going to be married to
the Queen.
The Queen, and of course she has a lot of pull.
Yeah.
So that probably helps that who he's dating is like the Bella twins, you know, like who they were dating.
Yeah.
And that's terrible to say, but it's true.
Right.
Like the Bella twins on their own were stars, and I know it makes the brainless one-tism that they're going to the Hall of Fame. But you know what? They're deserving. They are. And like, just remember, like when the women's division was really, really down, who were the stars? It was that?
The Bella twins.
It was the Bella twins. So it makes sense.
Yeah. My vote for this is Andrade wins, and I think Garza helps him out.
I agree. Andrade gonna take the W. You know, Humberto, they're gonna give him a little bit of a slow burn. You can tell Paul Heyman really likes him.
Yep.
So they're gonna build him up a little bit because he's such a good wrestler. He doesn't speak English very well, so that's not helping him. Now Andrade is still with Zelina Vega? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And Zelina, while Andrade was out, was managing Garza.
Yeah, so good. Andrade Cien Almas. I miss his full name.
Yes.
I really do, because I like how she said it. They turned me on.
Mm.
It was weird.
All right, and the brainless one has Humberto Carrillo winning.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, and Chris Brown is actually saying rumor possibly of a fatal four-way for the U.S. title at Mania. Humberto, Garza, Andrade, and Rey Mysterio.
Just all Mexican wrestlers go for the U.S. title. I'm sure a certain base would love that.
Hey.
Kevin, we're going for an American title. It's sad. Donald Trump probably calls up Vince McMahon. It's sad that you're doing this. Build the wall.
Melania is going to win the 24/7 title.
Holy fucking shit! I want that. Could you know, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Like Melania or Donald Trump winning the 24/7 title. Could you
in the White House?
Could you fucking imagine the amount of tism from like everyone? That'd be wild. Oh my god! And then after the election, like whoever wins the Democratic nomination takes it from Trump. That'd be the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Do it, Vince McMahon. Yeah, that would just make everyone so mad. I love that shit. Any controversy is good publicity, right?
All right, is Tessa the youngest TNA Impact World Heavyweight Champion ever?
I want to say yes.
Probably.
Well, because remember, like TNA,
it was Jeff Jarrett basically winning the title a bunch for a while.
Jeff Jarrett and R-Truth won the title, or
AJ
Styles,
Sting,
Jeff Hardy,
Booker T,
RVD,
Christian.
Yeah, it was a lot of older people for a while. So I want to say Tessa is the youngest.
Is she younger than Randy Orton was when he won the title?
She's the same age.
They, doing the days thing. But anyway.
Oh, the days? Yeah, days and hours and minutes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah. So, brainless one, Humberto Carrillo. All right. Then
someone said no. All right. Go ahead.
AJ Styles going against Aleister Black in a no DQ match.
We touched on this earlier.
We did touch on this earlier. And I think the dead man, because of this no DQ, is going to get involved. Like, I think the lights are going to turn out. We're going to hear the gong. We're going to see AJ Styles laying down in the ring, and we're going to
Tombstone.
Exactly. And then we'll see. Maybe he picks him up and does the black mass just to end with his own move. But I think that's what we see.
What I think happens, the Undertaker does interfere, but he throws that web editor at AJ Styles and then beats the web editor up instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. So fucking funny.
All right, so I'm going Aleister Black here.
Aleister Black's gonna win by nefarious tech. It makes sense for the Undertaker to interfere here, and he probably has some appearances to make this year, so it's probably gonna be one of them.
And he'll have a strongly worded conversation with Vincent Kennedy McMahon
about the web editor.
Yeah.
You fire him yet?
Just like he had the dude that set him on fire fired. Years ago, they did an elimination chamber where
Pyro caught him on fire. Like, you fire him yet?
Yeah. Good times.
And he runs him over with his motorcycle. That's what you should do. You ride the ring on a motorcycle dragging the web editor.
By a chain.
By a chain.
All right. So we have the Street Profits in a rematch for Monday night against Rollins and Murphy. I mean, it feels too early to take the titles off the Street Profits, and if they're going in the direction of Kevin Owens versus Rollins at Mania, it makes sense here. It just, I hate how they booked the tag titles here. They could have kept it on the Viking Raiders. They could have had the AOP win the tag team titles and had Rollins go against Kevin Owens instead of this hot potato with the
tag titles. They've been hot potato. Quite like I can't even keep track of who's the champion.
Well, the Viking Raiders had them for a few months, but they were mostly involved with the feud with Rollins, AOP, Murphy, and Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. So they kept on having 8-man tag matches, and they were fun. But after a while, it's like, yeah, we've seen this like 10 times. Move along.
Move along, pal.
So I think the Street Profits win here, but I'm not. Yeah, maybe they don't win. They retain the titles. Maybe it's a count out. Maybe it's a disqualification that happens.
See, maybe my thinking here is since they've already booked them to be tag champions anyway, Rollins and Murphy with the belts back, and then they'll fight Kevin Owens and a partner of his choosing at WrestleMania.
And it could be by that time.
Samoa Joe should be back
by his after his suspension and injuries.
Shout out to Samoa Joe for getting suspended on purpose so he didn't have to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
that's my theory. Good for him.
Oh,
good for him.
There you go. Brett said, yes, Tessa is the youngest TNA Impact champion in history. All right. All right, so you're going with Rollins and Murphy?
Rollins and Murphy.
All right.
Sets up Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania. And Samoa Joe at WrestleMania.
All right. All right. So then we have Braun Strowman in a handicap match defending the Intercontinental title. Now, Braun is going to win this match, or at least come out with the title, and it just sucks that they're burying 3 people at once.
Yeah, I mean, we know how this is going to end. Braun Strowman's going to come out looking like the fucking monster he is. Sami Zayn hasn't wrestled in months, and he's going to be fucking losing, and he's probably going to eat the pin. Cesaro and Shinsuke, they're going to be there, but, nothing doing. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to make Braun Strowman the monster. He is an attraction, so you got to keep him that way.
And he just won the title. It's not like it's been a long reign.
It's the only belt he's ever had.
Except for the one with Nicholas.
Holy fucking shit, I forgot about that. I love Nicholas. I love every minute of that. Because, just remember, we're watching it, and I'm like, it's Okada! He's picking Okada! And
Nicholas!
What's your name?
Nicholas!
Nicholas, we're gonna win!
Yeah.
And then they killed him.
It would be interesting if they won and it was they split it into thirds. If
like the half title that the Late Cool had. I can't believe we mentioned that twice now.
Yeah.
Hey. It's always weird when the brainless one isn't here. Mainly because we can keep the show on the tracks.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, clean sweep of Braun. All right. So then, Elimination Chamber match for the tag titles, where we got Heavy Machinery, New Day, Usos, Lucha House Party, Rude and Ziggler, and Miz and Morrison, who are the defending champions. And via last night, Rude and Ziggler are the last team going in.
All right. Remember the last time they did this? The tag titles in the chamber? I think it was like, remember that one?
I can't remember.
I think wasn't it the last? So remember that time they had the Elimination Chamber randomly?
Yes.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like
it was a special event instead of a pay-per-view.
There was a house show in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes.
They're like, fuck it, we're just gonna make this Elimination Chamber.
So they did that specifically because you know how a lot of arenas now have the big like Titantron?
Yeah, they don't have that one there.
And they could not fit the Elimination Chamber in most arenas, so that's why they stopped doing it. So they found that one.
Yeah,
we'll do a special event.
Like in Cleveland, they could never do it.
Right.
They could because that thing, it's the biggest fucking Titantron in the fucking world.
So, but that's why they did away with it for a couple of years. But so you got these 6 teams, and they've honestly
also
Lucha House Party is the only one where I'm like, they've got no shot.
Yeah, I mean, this could go any way. I mean, like, this just set up
probably not New Day Usos, but they're legit teams.
Yeah, I mean, New Day's, I think you're trying to keep the belts off them for a little bit longer.
Yes.
But yeah, I think now would be a good time for Heavy Machinery to take the belts. I think leaving the WrestleMania them as champions would be a very smart idea. So I'm going to go with Heavy Machinery here as my pick. Although Miz and Morrison could win. Wait. But I'm confident that they will this will be the coming out party for Heavy Machinery.
All right, so I think there are 3 teams that could possibly win this: Miz Morrison, Heavy Machinery, and Rude Ziggler. If I'm really putting it down to 2, I'm going to say Rude and Ziggler or Miz and Morrison. And the reason why I say Rude Ziggler, they're last in the storyline that's built for Heavy Machinery to me that would be the WrestleMania. I want them to win so badly. They would have to go against Rude and Ziggler, not Miz and Morrison. They have no storyline with Miz and Morrison. But if they're going to sit there and change the titles, it would, in my view, be best on Rude and Ziggler, because then you get these baby faces that you're trying to put over and have them have a match at WrestleMania with something big on the line, and have, I hate saying it, WrestleMania moment.
WrestleMania.
Shit.
Here we go.
Dang it. Well, we'll keep rolling.
We'll keep rolling. Keep rolling.
All right, so my official pick, I'm gonna go with Rude and Ziggler.
Rude Ziggler.
All right, so that was the one thing that we actually all changed on.
Huh. Interesting.
Or all had different picks. All right, so then the women's Elimination Chamber match, and this is for the number 1 contendership of the Raw women's title. So we have Natty and Liv, Asuka, Ruby, Sarah Logan, and Shayna Baszler.
I mean, so you got 4 really good wrestlers, and then 1 wrestler, and then 1 shitty wrestler. So, you kind of hope they beat Liv early.
Right.
But,
they've been building up, at least character-wise, her on TV lately.
Is she still a lesbian?
They kind of finally went away from that storyline.
Yeah.
But,
well, we all know who should be the lesbians. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Right.
Well about it. Because that was their idea anyway. So this could go. I mean, this could go anyway. I mean, I think.
I mean, the build that they had going seems like Shayna, because she bit.
This is for the Raw women's title, right?
Yeah. Whoever wins this goes against Becky, basically at WrestleMania.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think the idea is to have Shayna win, right?
Yeah.
So which would make sense, because she could kill every single one of these women except Asuka.
Right. So literally with Shayna, supposedly Vincent Kennedy McMahon had a little bit of a problem with like the match she had on Monday and didn't think that she was a big enough star to be in a WrestleMania match of that high on the card, supposedly. Now, whether this is a swerve to try to make people like not think that it's a done deal as far as smarts are, so I just don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go Shayna here.
You know, and I think I agree because
they've been building since. I mean, they wouldn't have given her the win at Survivor Series if it wasn't like
a thing that they wanted.
Yeah,
to do.
I mean, you're all in on this already. You might as well just keep going for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, Becky's beaten Asuka a couple of times. Liv is not on that level. Natty, I guess you could put on that level, but the rumors are that possibly she and Beth Phoenix are going to be challenging for the women's tag team titles.
Which is something they wanted to do anyway.
And Ruby Riott, who's just back, who I think they have high hopes for, but I don't think it is there. And Sarah Logan, who, again, is not there. Shayna seems like the pick of all these based off everything that's going on. So I agree, Shayna wins this. So anyway, all right, so that's the Elimination Chamber match. Brainless One also had Shayna.
Okay.
Brainless One also had Miz and Morrison. So those are all the picks. And I guess we got to get to our good, bad, and brainless.
So my good for this week. So Chris Jericho's entrance at Revolution, very well received. He said it was the best entrance he's had in his 30-year career. I tend to agree with him. Of course, I mean, it's his entrance.
He's a go.
So coming out of that entrance, there was a story.
Mm-hmm.
The story was one of the choir members, her brother, who passed away in a car accident, was a huge Chris Jericho fan. Absolutely massive Chris Jericho fan. Went to shows specifically to see Chris Jericho back in the early 2000s before he passed away, tragically.
Mm-hmm.
And this choir member talked about, oh my God, it's like come full circle. Like, I can't believe I get to be part of this. My brother would be so proud of me. Like, this is the coolest moment of my life.
Yeah.
And Jericho saw that. He was like, oh my God, this made my entrance even cooler. Like, thank you for sharing your story. This is amazing. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. When people say, Jeff, why do you watch wrestling? Wrestling's so stupid. It's the dumbest shit ever. That's stuff like that. You know, that keeps me interested. You know.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
My good for this week is the Randy Orton segment on Raw. Mm-hmm. Everything about that was just fantastic. Good storytelling, and it's something. Again, they're kind of retro, long-term storytelling with this, but you know, I dig where they're going, and hopefully that they end up having a good match at WrestleMania.
We can only hope.
And we will see Edge on Monday Night Raw.
All right. So for the bad. So I was debating this should be my bad or my brainless, but my brainless was kind of a lock this week. But the bad was the burial of Ricochet.
Okay.
Don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that, but we already touched on that, so you can go ahead.
All right. My bad for this week is just the general treatment and booking of the Raw Tag Team Championships. You know, the hot potato aspect of it. I love the Street Profits, and I think they should be champions somewhere. But like, you know, you're building this faction with the Monday Night Messiah, and you know, take the titles off them where you know they seem less impressive. So, but you know, sometimes the storylines that come out of these things end up being good. But I just don't like what they've done with the tag titles. In general, I should say the tag team titles. Whether it's SmackDown, whether it's the women's tag team titles.
They've always hot potatoed them, though. I mean, this isn't really anything new.
I mean, Demolition held them for a long time, and the New Day held them for the long time, and Usos held them for relatively long time.
Yeah. But historically, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's kind of been... I guess it made sense attitude era wise because it's like you had
everyone had
4 or 5 like teams where you're like, yeah, I love them. Whether it was New Age Outlaws, the APA, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys, and it's like,
all right, awesome. I think there's some good tag teams now. It's just they're not at that level.
Right. Well, they don't give them the time to
be at
that level. All right, so that's my bad for this week. And what is your brainless?
This was easy. So, so you're watching AEW Revolution, right?
Yep.
Cody Rhodes comes out.
Oh.
I could not stop looking at that shitty neck tattoo. I could not. I mean, Cody, I understand it's your body. You can do what you want with it. And that's fine. But that's fucking distracting, man. That was, like, that tattoo would have been great anywhere else on his body. He put it right on his fucking neck. And you could see it the whole match. And you're just like, oh my God, I can't stop looking at it. It's fucking awful. Like, I don't understand. Like, he explained it like, oh, I want my brand to be front and center. I can't hide from it. It's just like, I mean, you take your shirt off when you wrestle, right? Like, you can see it while you're wrestling.
Yeah.
But now, like, it's just so weird to me because, you know, Cody's a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
And it just seems such like a dumb move, especially since he's one of the big business partners in AEW. It'd be like a Triple H like got like Sarah or Stephanie tattooed on his throat. Yeah. So that was very brainless of Cody Rhodes.
James E. Cornette donated $5 to the GoFundMe to remove the tattoo.
You know how I feel about Jim Cornette right nowadays, but he's boomer as shit.
Yeah. All right, so my brainless for this week is your bad.
Really?
Ricochet.
Yeah.
Like, the sky's the limit with this dude, quite literally, and you just kind of shit all over him.
Yeah, that was pretty brainless.
He deserves better. So
I agree. I mean, it is what it is. It's just man, it's good shit, pal.
Yeah.
I'll be all fine in like 5 years when like he leaves WWE and comes back and like and all of a sudden he's like Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. So that's about it. I think
we did everything.
You know, the brainless one likes to chime in about this time and talks about an F and Marks Hall of Famer. You know what? Yeah.
Who is it?
F and Marks Hall of Famer. Curtis Axel.
Oh wait, we gotta do our plugs, bro.
We'll do it. Curtis Axel, at an astounding 1,875 days, is still alive in the 2015 Royal Rumble. Better than perfect.
All right, shameless plug time. So,
if you like what you've seen, make sure you like and subscribe to us on all of our platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at VFNMARKS, If you like us and subscribe to us, we will like or subscribe to you back.
You can follow me on Twitter at RealJeffSnyder. That's real as in I exist. And JEFFSNYD. You can follow me there.
And make sure you check us out on the Wrestling Marks page live every week. Make sure you set up notifications for when we go live so it will inform you when we are live.
And you know what? You can watch it anytime.
Yeah.
Of course, the Facebook stream died, so not so much.
So, anyway, thanks for tuning in every week that you do, and thanks for filling in for the brainless one.
Absolutely, anytime.
All right. Catch you all later, everybody. Have a good week.